Coach Daniel, and I want to do a quick rundown of how tempo works. Tempo, just like in music, is how we count when we're moving a weight or a load throughout the movement. So basically, tempo is broken down into 4 numbers: 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're always going to be written in this sequence, but it gets very confusing, and I see people implementing it wrong. I see people teaching it wrong, and because of this, it gets a little bit kind of questionable as to whether or not you're even executing correctly, so tempo goes out the window. So here it is, the simple version. So tempo is going to be based on the direction of gravity, always straight down. Okay. So the first movement, the first number, usually the biggest number, is the eccentric. Now for some of you guys, you're going, I don't even know what eccentric means. Eccentric means you're lowering the weight, right? So on a bench press, for example, or a push, this will be lowering the weight, right? So this is where we're kind of going the direction of gravity. Remember, gravity goes straight down. Okay, so the first movement here on a push, this is going to be the first movement, or the first number, okay? Then we have a pause. That's how long you're going to hold the weight at the bottom under tension. Okay? The second number, this is how quickly you're going to fight against gravity. Okay? That's why we're going up here. That's called the concentric. This is where you feel like you're doing the most work, right? This is where you apply the most force. Okay? So in this case here, that would be going up. Okay? For the last number, that's the pause before you begin the next repetition. Okay? So pause or hold. Now where it gets tricky is for the different movements, because some movements start here, some movements start here. Okay? So let's look at a squat movement. We start standing up and then we go down. That means we're going downwards with gravity. Okay? So this is the beginning position for a squat movement. We already covered the push. We lower the weight first. This is the first number. This is where it gets tricky when we're looking at pulling movements. When you're pulling down, you're actually fighting gravity because of the pulley system. The weight over here actually goes up when your hand moves down. This is where it gets upside down. So when you're pulling, this is actually your first number. This is where you start. So you're going to pull, how long you're going to hold or pause. And then we go here, this is how long you lower the weight for, because when you're raising your arms, the weight is actually going down. The other example is for a deadlift. That's actually a pull. On the deadlift, the weight starts on the ground. The first part of the movement is going against gravity, so we're here. That's the first number for a deadlift. Then we have a pause at the top, how long it takes to lower the weight, and then how long you wait before your next repetition. So always keep in mind the direction of gravity, where the starting position and the ending position of your movement is. And you should always be able to get your tempo right on point. Now here's the secret. When this number gets bigger, the lift gets harder. This is the slow part, okay? So when you see 4, 0, 1, 1, 5, 0, 1, 1, okay? That's a difficult pull or a difficult movement. The other one to look out for is the pause or hold. When those numbers get big, that usually implies some sort of isometric hold, either at the bottom or at the top of the movement. Okay, hopefully that gets you on the right track.